Morning, everyone. Just wanted to introduce you to the mascot of the group. This is Puss Puss the cat. He'll really give it to the New World Order if he could. He doesn't like me either. He likes his breakfast and stuff in the morning. And he loves everybody. He's just a big snuggle bug. But I thought I'd introduce him to you and get a good look at Puss Puss the cat. See, there's a lot of stuff in the news lately and about Trump and stuff like that, and some people come on my group and they don't like Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is not that bad of a guy, but the thing that he did do that was wrong was that I know you're hungry, hang on. He went straight into the NAFTA agreement and decided to renegotiate that. Well, renegotiating it isn't such a good idea, because you should be pulling right out of NAFTA, because NAFTA is the basis for the North American Union. All those free trade deals eventually drop your borders and bring in the North American Union, which is the African Union, the Asian Union, well, there's a lot of unions. I can't remember them all right now. I'm still having my coffee. I'm not awake yet. Well, anyway, all these unions form, and then when the unions are formed, and they have these supercontinents, then they take those continents and they join them into a world government under a world association. And it'll be like China, where they have these cities where they have all the facial recognition and stuff standing up. So if you're considered a dissident, like they would consider me a dissident for telling you things, you're then blotted out, your chip is turned off, or you're thrown in prison, and you're never seen again because you tell the truth. You see, anyone that's a threat that would wake up their fellow sheep is you make them in danger because you tell them the truth. Oh, you make them want to riot against us. Oh, they might want to protest. We can't have that. So that's basically it. You see, anyone who dares stand up to the system at that point will be in deep trouble. Right now, there's still time where you could get all your friends together and you could protest, and you could protest NAFTA, and you could protest all those other things. And the more protests they are, the merrier, and the more you join together in your protest across borders. So if you're protesting in Canada, you should be protesting in the States at the same time, Australia, New Zealand, and so on, in England. You see, and people are wondering, why are they bringing in all these Muslims? Well, the plan is, from Albert Pike, is the 3 world wars. First you had World War I, World War II. Now World War III is supposed to be against the Muslims, where the Muslims are run up against you, like a ship going up against the rocks to scuttle it. And they're sent in to cause a war between the Muslims, the Christians, the Jews, the Buddhists, everybody who's not a Muslim, because Muslims won't accept other religions. You see, they won't say, oh, you have the freedom to do that, because once they start to get into power, then they start to claw away everyone else's freedom once they're in power. That's what's going on in the government in Canada right now, with this lady that works in Ottawa now in the Liberal Party. She's trying to stop anyone from speaking out, you see, because they don't want you to have freedom. And that's what the New World Order wants. You see, they want you to fight with the Muslims, and the Muslims are too stupid to see it, because all they see is they want their worldwide caliphate. You see, they want to have a worldwide Muslim government, and that's what they're like. Oh yeah, they're going to give it to us, But the Masons in the background are like, oh no. But you can help us by going and doing your thing, and you give us our little war with you and everybody else, because they don't care. It's just like a proxy army. That's an army that they don't have to care about. You see, to take down your freedoms and your rights, because they don't have to care about that army, because it's not their army. It's not costing them ammunition or soldiers. It's not costing them anything to go and do that out of their personal arsenal of soldiers. You see, this is allowing another army from another group to come in and take power, and then when they're done, they'll go in and they'll bring in their Luciferian government, because they want everyone to be disillusioned and exhausted from fighting, or they just don't want to fight anymore, and they're so exhausted, and they cry out for someone to come in and install a new order. You see, because that's their motto is order of chaos. So first the chaos, and then they present the solution, which is their world government, and they're Satanists, so it won't. That's what they want to bring in as a Luciferian satanic government. You see, so that's what's going on. And they're bringing them into Canada by the boatloads. There's so many right now that all the beds are full all over Canada for refugees. And Trudeau just keeps bringing them in and bringing them in as many as he can stuff, as many as he can get to walk across that border as fast as he can. You see, and it's just like France, where last week in France, where there was millions of migrants, and France won the FIFA World Cup in soccer, and millions of migrants started to riot as soon as the people started to celebrate their nationality, and they had the police cornered. The police were trying to spray them with pepper spray. They just run back, and the police were cornered in the corner, and they pushed them up against a wall. And I'm pretty sure, I didn't watch the whole thing, it was too sad to watch, but I'm pretty sure they kicked the crap out of those cops and probably killed some of them. You know, and the mainstream media doesn't do anything about it because they're sold out. And some of the Canadian television network, you know, you go into Ottawa and you look above their station house, and there's a Mason's Lodge right on top of their building. So, you know, they own pretty much all the media, and you can't get the truth out of them. You can just forget it. You know, you have to go online, and you got to listen to like 6 different people to find the truth. You know, and it's hard to find anyone to tell you anything, because nobody wants to risk it. You see, they don't want to risk telling the truth because they could get banned or whatever. And I don't really care if I get banned. I'm just trying to get the word out there for you people so that you can be ready. I mean, you try to talk to people in the streets, you know what they're like? They're like, oh, well, that's kind of scary. I gotta run away. And it's like, man, you people are just sitting ducks, because when they let these Muslims in, they're just gonna murder you. And the gay people are so funny, because they'll be walking down the street holding hands right in front of the Muslims, and the Muslims are just like, okay, that one's gay, that one's a Christian, that one's this, and they're writing down your name and your address and where you live and where you hang out. And then when it gets down to when they outnumber you, they know who you are. Then they'll just come and kill you, you know. And the homosexuals figure the liberals are going to give them everything and they can be free to do whatever. But what I personally believe is that they're allowing these gay day parades at the same time, bringing in millions of Muslims that throw gay people off of rooftops and stone them to death, you know, and then allowing the Muslims to see these gay people in these gay day parades and all this stuff, so that they can take names and faces and then beat the crap out of them later and murder them, you know. So the gay people are kind of screwed, you know, but they push it in everybody's face and take everybody's rights away. They marginalize Christians and all sorts of stuff with their cakes and things. Remember the cake episode where people just refused to make a cake for them, so they sued us and then took away our religious freedoms and stuff? Oh, it was stupid. Because they don't just once you take away religious freedom, you take away everybody's freedom. You don't just take away the Christians' freedom. You don't just take away the Buddhist freedom. You take away everybody's freedom once you start taking away freedom. And that's what the soldiers in my family and a lot of other families in Canada and the United States fought and died for and killed people over, was for freedom, you know. And for some little pansy homosexual to come in with a lawyer, and the lawyer doesn't care as long as there's money on the table. They come in and they take away your rights and your freedom. Well, that's kind of stupid, because then you don't have any freedoms. And this takes away the whole purpose of every war that ever happened that people thought they were fighting for. Well, really, it was the banker in the background getting rich. But that's what the soldiers went and fought for. That's what they believed in, that they were fighting for freedom and for God and for justice and for truth and for the right, you know. But to have some little pencil neck pushing idiot come in with some little fairy and take away all those freedoms that people fought and died for. You know, I'm in the Legion, and for that to happen and to see these vets and basically like Ottawa spit in their face and tell them they were asking for too much. Well, meantime, they were giving away billions of dollars to all their little friends and stuff, little Trudeau there, and he's like, oh, you vets, you're asking for too much. Well, How much does a leg cost? How much does an arm cost? How much does it cost to be shot with like a 50 caliber bullet or blown up with an IED on the side of the road in Iraq or Afghanistan? And is that too much to ask of them for our freedom to get blown up with an IED? And then for Ottawa to say, well, now you're asking for too much? Maybe Ottawa is asking too much. Maybe Trudeau's got to go. Maybe you have to get out there with the vets in the street and stomp the pavement and protest and just camp. Camp on the lawn if you have to of Ottawa. Just camp on it. Go out to the Parliament building, set up tents, and just sit there and camp for the summer until you're heard, and camp right up against the steps until the RCMP are told from the politicians, the dirty, greedy politicians, to come and move you. Oh no, or throw you in jail, because you're fighting for your freedom. You have to get out there and be heard and be seen. And it's the squeaky wheel that gets oiled. It's not the one that sits there silently and does nothing. You have to get up and fight for your rights. And Christians have to get up and fight for their rights too. You can't just lay down and say, oh, everything's going to be okay. No, you have to get up and you have to say something's wrong. When there's a fire, someone has to see the smoke. And if you want to make a fire, well, you got to get in there with a lighter and light it. So get in there with a lighter and light the fire and stand up for your rights. I got to go.